Hello, this is to Mr. Diddy, Mr. Combs, Mr. Sean Diddy Combs, and no one else. Diddy, what made me think of this is if there are people, male and female, in high school on the news who ask people out to prom, sports figures and whatnot, on to come to their prom as dates, something that some of us would consider trivial. Well, I figured to take my mother's advice and ask my favorite star for some help in a much more needy way. My name is Cub, and I'll tell you my last name in if you were to reply. That's Cub, C-U-B, and I am a patient with sickle cell anemia. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. It strickens many African Americans, us as blacks, black Americans, and I have one of the worst cases of it. I'm in the hospital literally 1 to 2 times a month. In fact, very often it's home a week, hospital a week, home a week, hospital a week. Now, the reason I'm asking you for help and a job, and I can explain why I'm asking for a job, because it's in the entertainment industry, but it's not anything like you think. Well, there are actually two things. I'm a writer, and I can model. I can model Sean John. Obviously, you can't tell that by looking at me now, but it's because I'm sick. But when I'm out the hospital with a haircut and swagged out in Sean John, yes, I could be a Sean John model. Anyway, among the names my mom recommended was Oprah, Michael Jordan, and others, Jay-Z, and I explained to them that if I could hook up with anyone as friends and someone who might help me, it would be you. You can't imagine how much of a fan I am. The way I, quote, met you was, I'll never forget, my older brother would come in from work and he would sit in the kitchen and eat his late dinner at night and bring his stuff in from the car. And I walked to the kitchen, probably 17 years old, I want to say, and on the corner was a white CD case with a baby on it, which obviously turned out to be Big's joint, Ready to Die. I had no interest in it, I'd heard of Biggie, I knew he was cool and all, but at that particular time in hip-hop, I was almost strictly a Bone fan. How ironic, later those two would do a song together. Then I started listening to Biggie, and I was just fell in love with him as an artist. I remember asking Tim one time before I finished the CD, I said, is Puffy on this at all? Because I had since heard about you and become an instant fan of you. And my brother's like, no. But of course, technically you are on there, but it's with ad-libs. But from there, I completely fell in love with you. The videos, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, Biggs, More Money, More Problems, Can't You See, with Total, all of that. Fell in love with both of you all. And when Big died, a part of me died, because I didn't just like you all as a fan. I loved you all as people. I would love to hang out with you on some Make-A-Wish type deal. I don't want money. I don't want a handout, but I'd like to earn money with a helping hand and be able to give back to the associations, sickle cell associations, who hold charities to fight this terrible disease. A little bit more personally to you, of course, anything that involved you, I've soaked in. One being the Making the Band series, especially with Making the Band 2. One of the things that always struck me was like, why are they not starstruck by Diddy? They're living in a house where he often visits, and they're just talking to him like, anybody walk by. And I'm like, If I ever had that opportunity, and I don't mean to be in the band, I mean just to meet you and hang around with. But to be fair, everybody has their favorite celebrity. But you are my favorite celebrity. Um, every time I see an interview with you, I think about the questions I'd like to ask you. I dream about us hanging out, and I wish it were. I wish it were true. I dream about meeting you, and how if I were to able to like if you started a label, Bad Boy, excuse me, Bad Boy novel publishing house, I could be your star writer, and I could also there's talent I could seek out for you. And again, I mentioned the Sean John modeling thing. Diddy, nobody, and I mean nobody, is as passionate than me about you and Bad Boy Worldwide. And I mean, I don't even have to say no homo or anything. I would hope you see me as bigger than that. As not bigger than that, but being straightforward with you. Believe me, the same ladies you get, I want to be able to pull. But I wouldn't even bother you or ask you. As much as it is a dream for me to meet you, get to hang out with you, get to learn how to make a fortune so I can give back to my family that's worked so hard. My dad worked 40 hours a week all his life, sometimes much more, sometimes 50 hours or more. Literally, when we wake up in the morning, my dad would be gone because he would have left at like 6:30 or 7 for his job working at Ericsson. We would get home from school, my dad was still gone, and then he would get home about 5 o'clock, eat supper, and guess what? He had to leave again because he worked at the Kmart in the evenings, all just to keep a roof over our head. And so my mother, I'm one of 3 boys, so my mother wouldn't have to work. And of course later she did have to work because, things are so hard, recessions and economy, even growing up, 80s baby, 90s teen, which I am, not a teen now, but I was a 90s teen. And so ultimately she had to work anyway. She was able to babysit in the house, and I helped her with babysitting when I was younger. But this disease has stricken me worse and worse, and my doctors are telling me that a lot of sickle cellers don't make it past 30. And, so I don't know how long I might have left. Supposed to be getting out the hospital this week, and prayerfully, by some miracle, I'll hear back from you. But I will make a part 2 of this video to tackle a little bit more of the personal stuff. Thank you. God bless. Shout out Bad Boy East Coast Worldwide for life.